Nearly 80 million women, children and men around the world have been forced from their homes as refugees or internally displaced people. Even more shocking, 10 million of these people fled in the past year alone. On World Refugee Day, we pledge to do everything in our power to end the conflict and persecution that drive these appalling numbers. Today, we also recognize the generosity and humanity of host communities and countries that often struggle with their own economic and security concerns. We owe these countries our thanks, our support, and our investment. We must all work to re-establish the integrity of the international protection regime and to implement the pledges made at the Global Refugee Forum so that refugees and host communities receive the support they need. This year, the COVID-19 pandemic poses an additional threat to refugees and displaced people who are among the most vulnerable. My recent policy brief on COVID-19 and people on the move called on governments to ensure that they are included in all response and recovery efforts. Refugees and displaced people are also prominent among those who are stepping up to make a difference on the front lines of the response. From camps in Bangladesh to hospitals in Europe, refugees are working as nurses, doctors, scientists, teachers, and in other essential roles, protecting themselves and giving back to the communities that host them. On World Refugee Day, we thank refugees for their resourcefulness and determination to rebuild their own lives and to improve the lives of those around them. Today and every day, we stand in unity and solidarity with refugees and recognize our fundamental obligation to shelter those fleeing war and persecution.
World Refugee Day this year comes amidst a health crisis that has shaken the world to its core. As we worry about when we can be reunited with our friends and families and resume our normal lives, let us remember that those displaced by conflict, violence, and persecution are faced with a multitude of uncertainties, from reaching safety to being able to work and put food on their families' tables. The pandemic has disproportionately impacted the displaced by virtue of their circumstances. But despite compounded hardships, countless refugees have stepped up to support their communities during the ongoing coronavirus crisis. It is imperative now, more than ever, for the international community and every segment of society to stand in solidarity with refugees and the communities that welcome them. Today's World Refugee Day concert is a moment to contemplate the fate of almost 80 million refugees and other displaced people who have been uprooted from their homes. 80 million people who cannot return home to their countries or communities and do not know when they will be able to because of war or persecution. Let us reflect on what each of us can do to support them. Everyone can make a difference. Every action counts. And to every musician who has volunteered their time and talent on this important day, thank you. To the refugees attending this concert in Jordan and refugee communities worldwide, the grace and fortitude with which you have faced this crisis is an inspiration to the world. I see you and I salute you.
This is a message for our world's forcibly displaced people. World Refugee Day is devoted to you, the uprooted people among us, to honor your humanity, to acknowledge your plight, and to offer you our solidarity. In my 10 years working for UNHCR, I traveled to where you fled to hear your stories of what you lost, how you survived, and what gives you hope. You moved me to tears. I couldn't fathom what you endured and how you survived. The resiliency of your spirit always left me humbled, but also inspired. You are called refugees or IDPs. This label is there to offer you protection or humanitarian assistance. It pains me instead when you are excluded, shunned, stigmatized, and marginalized. Even worse, you are often politicized for twisted propaganda, for xenophobic nationalist agendas. Your trauma traveled with you. You have flashbacks of beautiful times of peace and hellish times when the emergence of violence drove you away. You left all that was precious behind, including elusive senses of belonging that you took for granted, but now that belonging is what you miss most of all. The lucky refugees among you arrived in welcoming countries with enlightened policies. You were helped to settle, to learn a new language and customs, to start learning and working again, to contribute your skills, your talents, the richness of your culture to your new communities, to heal. But too many of you live in an existence in exile where you are barely tolerated. You live on the margins in city slums or desert refugee camps. The worst part, you've told me, is the limbo, drawn out for years when the war back home doesn't end. That space of time in between when your human potential is squandered. For those of you who are internally displaced, your existence is often even more precarious. You are so close to home, yet so far away. Home is too dangerous to return to. UN humanitarians and their local partners negotiate to take dangerous journeys to try to reach you, but are often hindered, blocked by actors who are perversely using your misery, your hunger, your suffering as a weapon of war. And now COVID-19 threatens and haunts you. We know most of you have only limited access to water, to sanitation and health facilities. Social distancing is hard when you're living in crowded camps and cramped apartments. Your host communities are also in danger. I know UNHCR and other humanitarian organizations are doing all they can with the funding they can raise to boost public health and hygiene to limit coronavirus infections, and to give you the knowledge and the tools to keep yourselves, your families, and your communities safe. Many of you are also meaningfully contributing to the response, and we thank you for that. That is why I am standing with you in solidarity on this World Refugee Day and every day.
Theodosia writes me a letter every day. I'm keeping the bed warm while her husband is away. He's on the British side in Georgia. He's trying to keep the colonies in line. Well, he can keep all of Georgia. Theodosia, she's mine. Love doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes, and we keep loving anyway. We laugh and we cry and we break and we make our mistakes, and if there's a reason, I'm by her side when so many have tried. Well, I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it. My grandfather was a fire and brimstone preacher, but there are things that the homilies and hymns won't teach you. My mother was a genius, my father commanded respect. When they died, they left no instructions, just a legacy to protect. Death doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes, and we keep living anyway. We rise and we fall and we break and we make our mistakes, and if there's a reason I'm still alive when everyone who loves me has died, I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it. Wait for it. I am the one thing in life I can control. I am inimitable, I am an original. I'm not falling behind. it like in his shoes? Hamilton doesn't hesitate. He exhibits no restraint. He takes and he takes and he takes and he keeps winning anyway. He changes the game he plays and he raises the stakes. And if there's a reason he seems to thrive when so few survive, then goddammit, I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it. Life doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes. And we rise and we fall. And if there's a reason I'm still alive when so many have died, then I'm willing to wait for it. Wait for it.
Hello, my name is Brenda Vongova, founder of the UN Chamber Music Society. Today's World Refugee Day concert is in honor of every person who has been forced to flee their home due to war, violence, or persecution. As the concert is hosted by the UN Refugee Agency in New York City, the opening program symbolizes the city's multicultural and global dimension and aims to provide solace to its people who have been gravely hit by the global health crisis. The concert's opening program features the extraordinary musical Hamilton, the story of an immigrant's uphill journey to success in the USA. It reminds us of the resilience of refugees who, much like Hamilton, have a great deal to contribute to societies that welcome them. On World Refugee Day, let us remember and cherish these valuable contributions. I would like to thank the extraordinary musicians of the UN Chamber Music Society, and especially the artists for helping to make this concert possible. I would also like to thank the refugees in Jordan who contributed their messages of hope on this day. Jordan is home to nearly 750,000 refugees, and this concert is especially in honor of them. I hope that you will enjoy the second part of the concert, featuring music from the Middle East and opening with music by the region's icon, Kazem Al-Zahir. Closing the concert is the world debut of an exciting classical and rap music collaboration between the UN Chamber Music Society and Afghan rapper and activist Sonita Alizadeh. Music symbolizes love and peace and holds the power to highlight the plight of the refugees. All musicians will perform music from the safety of their homes to help stem the spread of the coronavirus. I hope that you will enjoy this concert.
الموسيقى حياة
تعطيني طاقة إيجابية.
هي الوسيلة اللي بتخليني أظهر المشاعر اللي بداخلي للناس.
تساعدنا الموسيقى على تنشيط ذاكرتي.
تفرغ الطاقة السلبية اللي بداخلك.
مهرب من الضغوطات والمشاكل اللي تصير بالحياة.
الموسيقى لون يعني من ألوان الحياة.
الواحد يحس إنه إشي يخص الروح.
أوصل رسالة بالمحبة والألفة والاحترام.
هو اللي ساعدني لحتى أطلع المشاعر والأحاسيس.
وبالنسبة إلي الموسيقى هي كل الحياة.
تعتبر وسيلة ترفيه عن روحي.
الوقت الوحيد اللي بحس فيه إني موجود هي صديق بلاقيه جنبي. الموسيقى هي لغة وغذاء للروح.
الموسيقى تعني لي الكثير.
وبحب أن أصير كمان مشهور وأطلع المسارح.
والموسيقى إشي بيسلي يعني بوقت الحجر الصحي بالبيت.
ارتاح نفسيا من أغني.
بوصل رسالتي لكل العالم من خلال العزف.
الموسيقى هي اللي حلت لي كثير من المشاكل النفسية.
تعطيني غذاء للروح.
الموسيقى رسالة،
وهي هون مكانها.
Hi, my name is Sunita Alizadeh. I'm a rapper and an activist from Afghanistan. I grew up as a refugee in Iran and I was forced into marriage twice as a child bride. However, I escaped. Today I'm here in the United States studying and still making more rap songs in hope to inspire young people to see more for themselves. I am very grateful for the UN Chamber Music Society for inviting me to be a part of this concert, and I hope that my music inspires girls to rise up, to take their fate into their own hands. On this World Refugee Day, I am excited to perform this debut of a music collaboration, Hope for Refugees, which fuses rap with the classical music, jazz, Bach's harpsichord concerto number 1 in D minor. To every refugee tuned in right now, this song is for you.
Goodbye sweet home, goodbye my friends. This is how our story ends. It's hard, I can't stay here anymore. I'm living with the picture and memories of war. I'm too stressed, I feel so alone on this long path. I hope to find a home. It is not my choice to become a refugee. Hey world, accept my apology. War, give me back my happiness, this isn't fair. I am no longer under my family's care. Imagine a world where war is gone, nobody else is left to set the bombs. I must make my home in a new land. I carry my life in a backpack, hope you understand. Long nights might make it hard to see, but the sun always rises inside of me. کاش منم مثل تو داشتم خونه یک جا، شاید کوله پشت من نخواهد بود در جا. من و این کوله پشتی هستیم دوستای صمیمی، توش خاطرات جنگ و عکسای قدیمی. عکس من کنار خانواده‌ام و امروز من تنها مسافر راه جاده‌ام. میرم از این شهر و شب‌های دلخراش، قلب من جا خواهد ماند، تو مراقبش باش. I'm living with the picture and memories of war. I'm too stressed, I feel so alone on this wrong path. I hope to find a home. It is not my choice to become a refugee. Hey world, accept my apology. This is how our story ends. It's hard, I can't stay here anymore. I'm living with the picture and memories of war. I'm too stressed, I feel so alone on this wrong path. I hope to find a home. It is not my choice to become a refugee. Hey world, accept my apology. My happiness, this isn't fair. I am no longer under my family's care. Imagine a world where war is gone, nobody else is left to set the bombs. I must make my home in a new land. I carry my life in a backpack, hope you understand. Long nights might make it hard to see, but the sun always rises inside of me. کاش منم مثل تو داشتم خونه یک جا، شاید کوله پشت من نخواهد بود در جا. من و این کوله پشتی هستیم دوستای صمیمی، توش خاطرات جنگ و عکسای قدیمی. عکس من کنار خانواده‌ام و امروز من تنها مسافر راه جاده‌ام. میرم از این شهر و شب‌های دلخراش، قلب من جا خواهد ماند، تو مراقبش باش. This is how our story ends. It's hard, I can't stay here anymore. I'm living with the picture and memories of war. I'm too stressed, I feel so alone on this wrong path. I hope to find a home. It is not my choice to become a refugee. Hey world, accept my apology. My happiness, this isn't fair. I am no longer under my family's care. Imagine a world where war is gone, nobody else is left to set the bombs. I must make my home in a new land. I carry my life in a backpack, hope you understand. Long nights might make it hard to see, but the sun always rises inside of me. کاش منم مثل تو داشتم خونه یک رو شاید کوله پشت من نخواهد بود هر جا من و این کوله پشتی هستیم دوستای صمیمی توش خاطرات جنگ و عکسای قدیمی عکس من کنار خانه بودم و امروز من تنها مسافر راه جاده‌ام میرم از این شهر و شب‌های دلخراش قلب من جو خواهد موند تو مراقبش باش Our story ends, it's hard, I can't stay here anymore. I'm living with the picture and memories of war. I'm too stressed, I feel so alone on this wrong path. I hope to find a home. It is not my choice to become a refugee. Hey world, accept my apology. If my happiness isn't fair, I am no longer under my family's care. Imagine a world where war is gone, nobody else is left to set the bombs. I must make my home in a new land. I carry my life in a backpack, hope you understand. Long nights might make it hard to see, but the sun always rises inside of me. کاش منم مثل تو داشتم خونه یک رو شاید کوله پشت من نخواهد بود هر جا من و این کوله پشتی هستیم دوستای صمیمی توش خاطرات جنگ و عکسای قدیمی عکس من کنار خانه بودم و امروز من تنها مسافر راه جاده‌ام میرم از این شهر و شب‌های دلخراش قلب من جو خواهد موند تو مراقبش باش